We should start while we're recording.
Start now while we're recording. Hello YouTube, and welcome to another episode of aXwVlogs. My name is Xander, and today I have a special guest with me. His name's Ben, and today Ben and I are going to be talking to you about video games and the console wars and things of the such. I'm going to start with you, Ben. What is your history with video games and consoles and stuff like that? Give a brief
history of my experience with the consoles.
Yes.
Well, my first console, when I was yay high, in the Shire, was a PlayStation 1. And when I experienced this PlayStation 1, it was brought over to me when I was at my grandma's house. Mm-hmm. And it was brought over to me by my aunt. And she said, "Look at this foreign technology. It has Spyro's Dragon." And I played it, and all I did was push one button the entire time, and I was completely satisfied. Which is what everyone does now when they play Skylanders. And now we are here, talking about the console wars. From then, we spawned the Xbox, and then from then we spawned the Wii, and the Wii U, and all the Wii's. And then came the great behemoth, known as the Internet, where no opinions are welcome. And everyone debates about these things. So your question is, what is my take on the console wars, or what is my opinion on the console wars? Like, what is my position, or what is my opinion on the console wars overall?
The console wars overall, yes.
Console wars overall. It's more of, if you've ever seen the South Park episode about the console wars, the ending of those episodes explains it very well. These two companies could band together and make one very awesome console. They could have both of their online plays be in the same network, but they don't. Mm-hmm. For the media, for the people of the internet, they always say things to appear like they're at each other's throats because their competition boosts both companies' sales. That is my take on the console wars. What is your take on the console wars?
My biggest thing is the whole war itself is kind of stupid, and that's one of the hardest things when it comes to, like, E3 press conferences. Mm-hmm. When you have an Xbox fanboy, they are not going to pay attention to the Sony press conference because they are Xbox fanboys. They are only going to watch the Microsoft press conference. Me, having a PlayStation 3, I didn't care to watch the Xbox press conference. I only wanted to watch the Sony press conference, and that is one of the hardest things when it comes to one company trying to persuade you over another company, because if you already have an Xbox 360, you're not going to get a PS4, you're going to stick with your Halo and get an Xbox One. So it's very difficult, unless you have those people that are neutral or have both systems, it's very hard to persuade one over the other. Either way, they're both great systems, and like you said, if they would band together to make one big system, that would be incredibly awesome, but at the same time, the likelihood of that happening is very slim to none.
People's viewpoints on, like, PS3 or Xbox, it's like asking people's viewpoints on Democrat or Republican. Mm-hmm. You have a strong viewpoint for it, and whether it's I don't care about your viewpoint, or it's a very simple viewpoint, mm-hmm. people won't change their viewpoint also willy-nilly. Mm-hmm. Because, like, Democrats or Republicans, they're so polar opposites, no one's just going to change their viewpoint of it. Yeah. And with PS3 and Xbox, if you want to change consoles, you got to change all your games for that, too. Mm-hmm. It's like, alright, I'm going to change my systems. That means every game I have to this point is completely worthless.
Yep. And another thing, too, Xbox One actually did a promotion where you trade in your PS3 and you can get an Xbox One for like $100 cheaper because you're switching from PlayStation to Xbox.
I'm sorry, that was stupid.
Yeah.
Because, okay, I can trade in my PS3 and get the Xbox $100 off, or I can keep my PS3 and get the PS4, which is $100 less than the Xbox.
Yeah, so either way, you could buy the PlayStation 4 for the same price as trading in your PS3 for an Xbox that's $100 cheaper, that's the same price as the PS4. So, I don't know why they chose to do that. It's a marketing thing, and whether it worked or not, I don't know.
No, their marketing strategies need improvement, ever since that always online thing Apparently with that, it wasn't completely true in the way that they said it, but it's just that it's the way it's the way they said it and the way the public took that. Because we're all person of interest, the machine is watching us.
The machine is watching us
all the time.
Back to the first thing that I said way back. What is every video game console you have owned? Unless it's like way too much to...
You want me to list off every single video game console that I've owned? Yeah. I have owned a PS1. I don't own it anymore. That's a very sad story behind that. I still own my PS2. It's right over there. It's a very fat one. Still works. PS3, PS4, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy SP, PSP, PS Vita, and Nintendo DS. And that's it.
I started off as a wee lad when I was in like preschool.
Are we saying we? Like we would like to play, or we high?
A wee high.
Wee high.
A short little child.
From the Shire?
From the Shire. I wanted a Game Boy Color. I wanted a green one. I got a teal one, which is close enough. So I got a Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. I had one of those giant, it was a magnifier and a light. So it was like bigger screen, brighter. It was awesome. Then came along the SP, which had the light built in, which was awesome. And the DS, I got the original Nintendo DS, the big bulky gray one that went out of style like a month after I got it because they came out with the light. And then I got a 3DS. And then as far as big name consoles, my first big name console was a Nintendo Wii, which at the time was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
And then it kind of slowly...
Oh, it didn't slowly. It just...
Yeah. And then they were like, Wii U. Nope.
Nope.
And then, of course, I have a PS3, and I am hoping to be getting a PS4 for Christmas. I'm not as hardcore of a gamer as, say, you are. I play my sports games.
Oh, why, thank you. What makes you say that?
Your wall of video games with 104 platinum trophies.
Oh, thank you.
Built into the wall. Is there any further comments you have to make about consoles in general?
About the console wars?
About the console wars? Anything you'd like to see in future consoles or such?
I have a question for you as far as console wars. What are your thoughts on the word fanboy?
Well, my thoughts on the word fanboy is if you're a fanboy of, say, the PS4, you are only going to like the PS4. You're not going to give a shit about the Xbox because you're not an Xbox fanboy. You are a PlayStation fanboy. And my view on a fanboy is someone who you can't change his opinion on Sony to try to get an Xbox because he is specifically a fanboy of one system and there is no changing his opinion whatsoever on what he believes in the Shire.
In the Shire.
What about you, Ben?
What about me? I think in today's internet culture, the word fanboy is used too much. Too loosely, because like I've told you, I played the Xbox. I like it. In my completely unbiased opinion, I like it. I watch the Xbox press conference every year. I watch it to see what kind of games they have coming out. And I don't own any of their stuff. I am part of the PlayStation family. Just because I own all this stuff, that does not make me a fanboy. If you were to talk to me on the internet, my opinions would be more strayed towards the PlayStation family, and I would be more knowledgeable about the PlayStation family. But that does not make me a fanboy. That does not make anyone a fanboy. Everyone has... Here's how I see it. In today's world, you have work, you have school, you have family, you have whatever important stuff you have to do. Then you get that done. Then you have X amount of free time, then you have X amount of expendable money.
Yeah.
And you can only spend that expendable money in so many areas. And so most of us only spend it on one console, either the PlayStation or the Xbox family. But just because we choose one and we stick to one side, that does not make us a fanboy of that side, just because we dedicate more of our time to one branch. And we're more knowledgeable of that. Then we're more knowledgeable of that. If I was to use my X amount of expendable money and time on both consoles, and I had both in my house, then my amount of knowledge would be split between the two. But that does not make me any less of a gamer than in that alternate universe where I would choose one over the other.
Yeah, because back when I was a wee lad, well, not a wee lad, but
Shire?
A few years back, before I actually got my PS3, I originally wanted an Xbox 360 because in America, Xbox 360 is selling way more than the PS3, but worldwide, the PlayStation is selling a lot better. So originally, I wanted an Xbox because I was kind of in that, you know, more people seem to like the Xbox 360 over the PlayStation. But what it ultimately came down to is I had more friends that actually had a PlayStation, like you and Dane. So what it came down to was like, okay, if I get an Xbox 360, I can't play video games with you. I can't play video games with Dane, and I have several other friends. I have fewer friends that have the Xbox, so it's like, okay, more people that I will actually realistically be playing video games with has a PlayStation, so that was ultimately my decision, and I like to stick with that decision and think that that's the right decision that I made, and we'll hopefully be getting a PS4.
That's kind of one of the big things, like when someone brand new is choosing their console, you see these E3 press conferences there. It has X amount of whatever bytes. It has all these complex computer things that they're talking about. But when someone's choosing their console, they don't think about any of that stuff. They think about two things, and two things only. One, where are their friends going to be? Because most gamers don't say, well, this exclusive, that exclusive, that I have not played and I have no knowledge of is going to be on this console. That's not what they think about. They think about, alright, my first-person shooter family friends are going to be on this console, so I'm going to go and buy this console. That's one. The other one is the price. What is the price of each console? Because sometimes, more often than not, depending on the age of the person, they are not the ones paying for the console.
Thanks, Mom.
It's a little mean to say, but it's true. It's the parents that, with the jobs, that can afford a $400 system.
Because that's one of the things, it was funny, that's one of the things my mom said when I was told her, I was like, I want a PS3. She's like, didn't you want an Xbox before? I'm like, well, I did, but more of my friends have PlayStations, so thanks, Mom.
Yeah, it's hard to explain this to parents when they're not in the realm.
And that's another one of the things with the E3 press conferences, too, is like what you were saying earlier about choosing for the first time. I feel like a lot of times those E3 press conferences are more aimed at the people that don't have either system already or have like experience with either system, because like what I was saying earlier too was I have a PS3, I'm looking to get a PS4, so the only press conference I cared to watch was Sony's because I've already made that decision. But a lot of people that are going to watch both are the people that are like, well, you know, which one should I get? This is going to be my first console, which one looks cooler, which one has better games, which one's cheaper, and it ultimately comes down to those things like you said, was the price and who's playing with you, as far as choosing the correct system for you in the realm. Does that wrap up our discussion on the consoles? Is there any further?
How long has this talk been? This has been a very in-depth
It's been a very in-depth conversation. It's kind of been all over the place, but you know.
That's okay. It's a vlog. They're supposed to be all over the place.
They are indeed supposed to be all over the place. And you guys, the loyal fans at home, as I've stated in probably the last, 20 of my YouTube videos, you can subscribe to Ben at his YouTube channel, Platinum Trophy Review, where he makes a nerdy conversation every single Friday. On the East Coast, it goes up at midnight. And you can check it out on YouTube at Platinum Trophy Review. Subscribe. And thank you guys for watching. Feel free to leave a comment down below on your take on the console wars and consoles in general. Just let me know what you think. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to Ben's channel, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.